What's going on, guilty guys and gals? And we're back in Stra. It's the trial time. Sorry, I just needed a screen so I could tell what was going on. So yeah, we should be ready to go. I'm kind of excited to see what happens. Seems how I've been leaving us all in suspense for a week because of Sword and Shield. But here we go. Also, I have no idea if this is voice acted or not. I probably could have checked that. It's loud again. There we go. Breathing. Breathing is a good idea, must say. Also, I have no idea how this is going to work, because I don't know how they manage like a regular class trial structure in RPG Maker. Oh, I think it's like a video.
Allow me to briefly explain the rules of this class trial. The results of the class trial will be decided purely by your votes.
Uh-huh.
If you manage to identify the blackened, they alone will be executed. Get it wrong, however. And
I forgot that.
everyone besides the blackened will be executed, and the blackened will be able to escape.
So, it's begun. The class trial. One of the people here brutally murdered Yuri.
Yep. Now then, first and foremost... Wait a minute, Monocro. There's something I want to ask first.
Of course there is.
Aha! What might that be?
My voices are going to be a little bit off again, because, you know, it's been a while.
Can there be an accomplice in any of these cases?
That's a good question. Whether or not there can be an accomplice will be a huge factor in deciding who the culprit might be.
Good question indeed. I suppose I didn't specifically address that in the rules.
Close enough.
To be blunt, there can be accomplices.
Kind of.
What? So it is possible? But only in theory. Only one person can actually leave the island in the end.
Right. Of course, the rules even say that only the first murder counts, should there be more. In other words, an accomplice would not benefit if there are two or more people involved in the case. They would gain nothing from assisting the culprit, after all. Yes. Even if they were to succeed, they wouldn't be allowed to leave with the culprit. And more importantly, they would face the same execution as the rest of us.
He is correct. What's the deal with that? Oh, that? Don't worry about that. Just don't look at it, it's fine. That would have been Yuri's seat, and it felt wrong to just leave it empty, you know?
Sure. So this is better. You've got an awful sense of humor. Wait, something's off here. What's with the empty seat over there? Whose is it?
It's exactly what it looks like. An empty seat. There's no need to worry about it.
Getting a message. It's a YouTube notification. That was important.
You're also interested in the tiny questions. That's fine, but shouldn't you be discussing the murder?
Right. This place is extremely unpleasant. I'd like to get out of here as soon as possible. It might be the last place you ever see if we don't find the culprit.
Don't say such terrible things.
Oh dear. Wait, everyone. Do you mind if I say something before we begin? What is it, Kokoro? Also, you already are, so... I've identified who the culprit is. Oh, have you? What? Are you serious? I mean, I've got a good idea, but I don't know yet. Who is it? Who's the culprit? I know exactly who the culprit is, and I know exactly how they pulled it off. Oh, okay. I'd like to give them the chance to speak up. Give yourself up now. At least then we'll be able to accept that you regret it. Oh, you'll be found out anyways. It's better to confess than have it pried out of you. I kind of like Kokoro. Not as a representation of psychology, though. Nobody is confessing. No shit. What kind of idiot would tell the truth? They'd be sentencing themselves to death. Alright, then we'll do this the hard way. Yep.
So, who's the culprit, Kokoro?
I can't tell you that just yet.
Why not?
What? Are you screwing around?
Oh, I think I wrecked my voice somehow.
Just tell us who it is so we can end this. It's like what Sora said. I don't want to be here any longer than I have to. Don't worry, sis.
Would you even be able to comprehend it if I told you? Yeah, I think it'd be fine. I'd be lucky if anyone even believed me. I can already tell some of you are suspecting me. That is fair, but you haven't really been, like, hanging around with us, so... your observation powers are impressive as always, Kokoro. I don't want you to give up the answer, that'd be lame. This is the class trial, and all of our lives are on the line. Figure it out for yourselves. We need to find a conclusion that is acceptable, so that when we vote for the culprit, there's no doubt. Okay, but can you at least confirm our answers? Figure it out as much as you can by yourselves. I'll help out when I can.
This is totally suspicious.
I mean, yeah, kinda. Hopefully you can't hear that truck outside. It's very loud.
Hibiki, don't suspect her when we haven't even started yet.
Oh my god, it's very loud. Hold on. Okay, I think it's gone.
What? What's with that condescending attitude? Oh, sister, your old self is back again. Duh, I wasn't just gonna sit around moping forever.
Mopping.
I'm really scared, but I'll do whatever it takes to stay alive.
Good.
I see. That's good, sister.
Let's begin then. Please, can we? Just a moment. Now, may I have a brief moment to speak with everyone?
About what?
What is it now? My thoughts exactly. I imagine some of you may be suspecting me because I'm the mastermind. Yeah, but you wouldn't be the mastermind if you... Your opinions of me are inconsequential, but please, for all of our sakes, treat me like just another student in this class trial.
If you wanted to kill us, you could just kill us, so why be the killer?
Death awaits us if we reach the wrong conclusion. I don't want to die either, you know. That's exactly what the culprit would say.
Alright, calm down, Shinji.
Seriously? This is a prime example of what you guys shouldn't be doing. Shinji, I'm sorry, but he's right. If Mikado wanted to act as the mastermind in this, he had plenty of chances to do that before. Everyone here is a suspect, including Mikado and I. The purpose of this discussion is to narrow down the list. I see. I'll do my best then. Oh.
So, can we, like, start now?
Where do we even start? Well, Yuruko, I think it's gonna probably be with you. If you don't know, try studying with what we know about the case. Do your best, everyone. My life's on the line, too. We should probably begin with what happened in this case.
Yes.
I need to try as hard as I can. Everyone's lives depend on it. Non-stop debate. Oh, really? Wow, this is intense. I didn't think they could manage to do this in RPG Maker. Although maybe there are static images? I don't know, we'll find out. Actually, I'm gonna pause one more time and go get a drink because my throat is better. Fun voice acting tip. Never eat spicy Doritos. They're bad for your throat when you voice. I'm not reading this because it's just a tutorial on something we're not going to be doing, for one, and something that's very clear to anybody who's played Danganronpa before, by the looks of it. Good luck. Good luck.
Wow.
This is actually really cool. I can't believe they pulled this off. I'm very impressed.
To begin, Yuri died at 7:30.
I'm still have to voice this, which is somewhat unfortunate.
30 minutes after the morning announcement.
I like this. I heard that Yuki and Sora were together at the scene. Yes, just this morning, Yuri contacted me. When I saw the message asking for help, I immediately ran to the bell tower. I saw Yuri hanging from a rope. He looked badly injured. And before I could do anything, he got dragged up. He fell back down in a bit.
Yuri had cuts all over his body. Some sort of sharp object must be the murder weapon. No, that's wrong.
Break.
Roha, that's wrong. Yuri couldn't have been killed by a sharp object. If you check the Monaco file, it clearly states the true cause of death. The fall. Yuri died due to blood loss and the trauma from the bruises all over his body. This is kind of mean, but whatever. In other words, Yuri's cause of death is falling. It's par for the course in Danganronpa.
Oh, I see. There were just so many cuts on Yuri's body, I guess I overlooked it.
Then what caused all those cuts? The cuts, they were probably created by that object. The wires. That object is the wires. I got it. Those cuts were created by sharp wires.
Wires?
Wires. Did you see the many strings attached to the walls along the spiral staircase? When Yuri plummeted I don't think that's how you spell that. Towards the ground, he got cut up by the wires that were strung up. That's why we found the wires scattered across the ground near Yuri's body. They also cut him. So they fell down, or as they cut him, they fell down with him. He fell very quickly. That's why the wounds are so thin, yet so numerous.
Oh, so that's why he's got all those cuts.
You didn't even check the Monaco file? Are you kidding me? You call that investigating? Alright.
I'm sorry. I just didn't want to look at a big bloody dude. Hey, it was an honest mistake. Don't pick on her.
An honest mistake. That's really funny to hear when an honest mistake could cost us our lives. How am I supposed to leave my life up to you guys if you make such idiotic mistakes? Hey dude, we're correcting it right now. That's the point of this. Leave your life to us? Yeah, why don't you help? Everyone's lives depend on the outcome of this trial, right? Not just mine, right? If you all work hard to weed out the culprit, I could just relax and save my energy. No, you should help.
What? So you're gonna leech off our hard work?
Showbiz, baby. If I have something to do, I will. I just don't like wasting time on pointless shit. If you're gonna work hard to save your own hides in the first place anyway. I mean, sure, dude. Whatever. This outcome works out great in the end for both of us. You know, it would work out even better if you just helped. You're seriously a degenerate ruffian. Have you even heard of the concept of helping someone? Now, everyone. We won't accomplish anything if we let ourselves be distracted by Shobai. He's terrible. I hate him. Let us carry on, shall we? So, if the culprit was planning to kill Yuri just by dropping him, why install all the wires? That I don't get. I'm not sure. I think we'll have to discuss that a bit more. Unless it was to slow down the descent, but still. Alright, can everyone tell me what they were doing at the time of Yuri's death? Not everyone, I can tell you that much. It's like you said earlier. Sora and I saw the death with our own eyes. We were together, so does that count as our alibi? Kanadi's gonna be like,
They could be working together.
I was alone in my room. Very helpful, but probably also true. Do I really need to tell you? I was just wandering around. Again, very helpful, but probably also true. Maybe. Yuri died at 7:30. 7 excluding Sora, Yuri, Kokoro, and Shobai should have been at the diner. Nope, Yuruko wasn't there.
Yuruko, what were you doing at that time?
Here we go.
I was at the bell tower too. I met with Sora and Yuki. The bell tower? But that's the scene of the crime, isn't it?
Sora and Yuki were there because of the message, so what were you there for, Yuruko? What was I there for? Kanade, just to be noted for later, Yuruko might as well have seen the murder with us. You heard the body announcement, right? It only goes off when 3 people see the body. Sora and I saw it first, then Yuruko saw it a little while after. Hold on, Yuki. You said that Yuri was being hoisted by a rope, correct? Ooh, he's got like the... Ooh. What? Yeah. Then, isn't it obvious that you two saw the killer? No, Mikado. But we do need to get this out of the way. What? Really? No. Probably. No. It's too obvious. Mikado. If Yuri was being hoisted by a rope from above, then surely the witness pursued the culprit, right? I see. The only way down that tower is by going down the staircase. Either the culprit went down or Sora and Yuki went up. Regardless, they would have seen each other. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. We went to the top, but we only found Yuruko there. That means Yuruko's the culprit! Thank you, Kanade. Very, very cool. What? We found her, like, passed out, though, so... Isn't it obvious? Emma said the only way to climb the tower was to go up the stairs. You don't have a good excuse like Sora and Yuki, and you've been looking worried since the start. It's clear to everyone that you're the culprit. Wouldn't you agree, sis? Huh? But didn't Yuki say she was a witness? Sis, just think about it. Yuruko doesn't have an alibi, and she had no reason to be up there. I guess when you put it like that, she does sound a little suspicious. Hey, who are you calling suspicious? Yeah, no kidding.
Yuruko, why don't you just tell us why you were at the bell tower?
Sora and Yuki said they were there because they got that message from Yuri. Give us a reason why you were there, and we won't have to suspect you. Well, that's going to be harder than it seems. That's... I don't know why I was there. What? Are you serious? Yuruko's situation seems complicated. I thought Yuki was going to be, like, railing against her, but he's not. I thought she was the culprit at first, too, but after I heard her account, I'm not so sure. Yuruko, just take it slow and explain your side of the story. As to be suspected, the suspicion is all resting on Yuruko. Almost too convenient, isn't it? I think we need to discuss this some more before we know if she's really the culprit. Although this is case 1, so... Dun 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 dun. Okay. Sorry. I went outside as soon as the Monocru's doors opened, so I could start my morning investigation before something began. Then someone attacked me from behind and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was at the top of the bell tower next to Sora and Yuki. Do you have any proof? Like, did somebody else see you leave early? What? No, nobody saw me. See? You've got no proof. It's obvious, isn't it? You're the culprit. No, it's not me. I'm not the culprit. No, there's a contradiction there. Somebody did see Yuruko this morning. I don't know if she's actually the killer, but I have to... Prepare the truth. Yes. Shinji. Shinji saw her. Although his his takeaway from it was that she was super suspicious, but... Somebody did see Yuruko leave this morning. Shinji, you saw her, right? Me? Well, yeah, I definitely saw Yuruko leave this morning. You're all up so early. What did you guys do? Hajime and I go jogging every morning, you know? I woke up early, so I was waiting for him at the corridor. Hajime was late because he needed to use the washroom, and I saw Yuruko leave as soon as the Monocruce's doors opened.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm not lying.
We've proven that you did indeed leave the ship early. However, can we be sure you told us the truth concerning why you went out early?
Huh?
Doesn't the fact that you left early actually make you more suspicious? The murder did happen in the morning, you know. And whoever killed Yuri was most certainly not aboard the Monocruise this morning. That's true, but... So, is Yuruko really the culprit after all?
I don't have an alibi for you, Hajime.
Hey, wait a minute! Why is everyone accusing me when I haven't done anything wrong? I told you, I don't know how or why I was there. I lost consciousness as soon as I left. Assuming Yuruko is telling the truth, can we assume that the culprit attacked her and moved her to the bell tower? To frame this all on her? But then, there'd be no explanation as to how Yuri was pulled up.
There is. I know it, my brain.
Maybe the culprit was hiding somewhere on top of the bell tower.
Impossible.
No, we looked around for a bit and there's no furniture or anything to hide behind.
Imagine like this huge dude hiding behind a chair.
It'd be very difficult to hide yourself up there.
I'm assuming it's a huge dude because the muscle strength needed to pull Yuri, but you never know.
If Yuriko can't explain herself, then we just have to assume that she's the culprit. Yeah. Wait, that's not true. I'm not...
Don't jump to conclusions. Yuruko isn't lying.
Thank you.
Are you sure your name isn't actually Kyoko?
Kakarao?
Listen to her voice. She's telling the truth.
Oh, well. That's convincing.
I know you're the ultimate psychologist, Kokoro, but how can you be so sure?
Hello? Okay.
You're approaching the possibility that Yuruko might be the culprit all wrong.
Instead of thinking,
Look at the bigger picture instead of focusing on her.
how did she do it?
Such as, why was Yuri killed? Why was Yuri killed?
Speaking of which, didn't Yuri lock himself in his room after telling the girls to kill him?
Did he? I don't remember that.
It'd be awfully difficult to drag that guy out of his room.
Not if he was drunk, passed out.
Hardly. If a girl came to get him, he would have left in a heartbeat.
Are you saying the culprit is a girl? So, in the end, doesn't it point to Yuruko anyways? I'm telling you, it's not me! Wait, everyone, if the culprit was a man, wouldn't that make the crime that much more ingenious? Right? The obvious answer would be the culprit is a girl, but if it were a man, they'd be able to exclude themselves from the list of suspects for that reason.
Who brought it up? I don't remember.
But Yuri's the kind of guy who hates being spoken to by another guy.
Yeah, you know, that kind of guy. They're everywhere.
As long as Yuri locked himself in his room, there's no way a man could have gotten him out.
But he didn't. You guys forget?
Huh? According to what Emma just said, the culprit could be a man if Yuri hadn't been in his room,
Which he most definitely was not.
Yuri locked himself inside his room, but there was a point where Yuri left it. The thing that made him leave his room.
The flashback anagram is about to begin. What is this? The goal of the flashback anagram is to remember an important detail from past events. When the game begins, a variety of cards will be shown on screen. The cards will only be shown for 5 seconds, and this time you should try to remember where each of them are. Okay, I like this better than like Hangman's Gambit. Once the cards are hidden, you'll be given the few letters at the bottom right of your screen. The objective is to find the missing letters that were displayed on the cards. So it is basically Hangman's Gambit. Match 2 cards with the same letters to punch in your answer. If the 2 cards you pick are the same and are the correct answer, they'll be placed in the bottom right. Not making the correct matches will reduce your score. Right. Making a match that isn't part of an answer will reduce your health. Once your health reaches 0, it's game over. Game over. Memorize the cards, mix and match the correct letters, and find the truth.
Good luck.
They even got the transition perfectly. Okay. Oh, some of them are 2 letters because it's right. Party. Right. That's pretty. Okay, that was funny. The party last night. I can't believe they all forgot about it. Yuri was at the party, wasn't he? And he drank late into the night as well.
Especially Yuruko.
Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was.
So if somebody had attacked Yuri right after the party, even a man could have done it. Yes, that's true. I think we're on the same wavelength.
You're just taking the party into account now? Slow bunch, aren't you?
I can't disagree with him this time.
You asshole! You're not even participating in this trial! What? You want me to help? That'll be 1 million C coins. Give me that and I'll figure it out for you.
Sure, I'm sure.
Shut up, you damn Scrooge!
If Sora's right, then a man really could have attacked Yuri. But there's no reason to rule out girls as potential culprits. So we're back at square one!
We're all aware of that. She's just proposing the possibility that a man could be the culprit. She didn't say it was impossible for a woman to be the culprit. For a man like Yuri, we cannot deny the fact that he was willing to die for any woman that asked him.
Which is really, really weird. Still can't get over that.
Yeah, but I'm curious about something.
The party was last night, but Yuri died this morning. If the culprit attacked Yuri after the party, wouldn't that mean the culprit was inside the Monocruise during nighttime? What? The Monocruise doors lock after 10 p.m.
That's true. If the party happened last night, but the murder happened this morning, then there's a huge time gap missing.
So the question is, if somebody attacked Yuri after the party, what did they do until morning? They, quote-unquote, went to the bathroom or something.
But didn't all the people who stayed late to drink return to the Monocruise before 10 p.m.?
I don't really remember.
That's not surprising. I was the only sober one there.
Do you remember? Be very helpful.
Anyways, everyone got back, but Yuri decided he needed to use the washroom, so he said he'd be late.
Lots of washroom using. Great excuse.
I get it. That's when somebody kidnapped him.
I mean, double kidnap. Kidnapped within a kidnapping situation.
No, that doesn't make sense. The murder happened at the bell tower just this morning. The culprit would have been locked in the Monocruise and unable to set up his murder.
His murder? Yuki, do you know more than you're letting on?
You're assuming things again.
Yeah, what if they just didn't go back?
There's no rule that says you have to be inside the Monocruise during nighttime. Obviously, or Yuri would be dead.
What? But the rules
state that the Monocruise doors close at 10 p.m. and that sleeping outside the dorms is not allowed. That's all. If you stay awake, you're fine. If the culprit never boarded the Monocruise, they would be free to roam the island even after the doors locked. As long as they never fell asleep, they weren't breaking any rules.
Which would be kind of hard to do if you were drunk, but there was the water bottle there.
Being outside the Monocruise at night isn't a violation? Is that true?
Yes, I've done it before. I wondered what would happen, so I slept all day and stayed out all night. Wow, that's pretty brave of you. Nothing happened. The doors opened to the monikers in the morning, and I was able to go in. Go back on board.
But, don't one of the rules say that there's monsters that roam at night? You could have gotten hurt.
I was fine. I stayed on the main roads. Nothing happened. The monsters are probably fake, let's be honest. Although, maybe something was hidden in the forest. Well, that's creepy. If what Kokoro is saying right now is true, then it's possible that Yuri didn't even board the monocruise
Last night. That's what I had always assumed. I didn't even remember that rule. According to Ruko, she doesn't know if Yuri made it back or not. Excuse me.
So isn't it possible that the culprit attacked Yuri and left him at the bell tower until morning? If that theory is true, then the culprit has to be someone who stayed up to drink last night. That's not true either.
What do you think, Yuruko? You are one of the people who stayed behind, right?
Stop.
Well, that's true, but it's not me. I arrived at the monocruise with everyone else.
About that? None of us are really sober, so I don't think any of us remember it.
Huh? They were all drunk as skunks.
Thank you, Emma.
Indeed, and none of them can recall a thing. Speaking of which, I don't remember seeing so much as a drop of alcohol when we were setting up the party.
Oh, that's right.
And yet, there was alcohol around the beverages when the party started.
Where did they even get it? I don't even know.
I believe this is no coincidence.
Are you saying the culprit brought alcohol to the party to get everyone drunk and fog their memories? Of what happened after the party? I wish I could advance these text boxes naturally.
Wait, is it possible that someone committed murder of impulse because they're intoxicated state?
No, you can tell by looking at the crime scene that someone put a great deal of thought into it. That's the thing, right? You can't pull that off intoxicated. You'd probably fall off the spiral staircase and kill yourself by accident.
If the culprit brought alcohol, does that mean it was one of the people who prepared the party?
Who are the organizers?
Oh, look! Yuruko's there! Sora, Yuki, Hajime, Mikado, Yuruko, and myself. Hajime is there. Just those 6. Hajime's the only one without an alibi who I think could have pulled this off, and it's really weird.
And once again, Yuruko's suspicious. I hate you so much.
So, the culprit is someone who helped organize the party and stayed up late to drink last night. And they'd have to be sober. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, the only person who wasn't drinking late last night was Yuruko.
See, that's not true.
She said she would stay sober because she had to chaperone us back to the monocruise.
Chaperone. I almost said that.
No, I mean, that's true, but...
Someone who can play drunk? That's interesting.
This is... The evidence all lines up.
Wait, that's wrong.
Yuruko, can you explain what happened in more detail? We just want to believe you.
Okay. Crossing swords?
Are you all taking this a little too far? Look, I told you I'm innocent. To be accused as a culprit because of some dumb coincidences. I can still defend myself, you know. Listen to me before you start talking.
Rebuttal showdown.
We're gonna slice. Oh, it's a bow. That's interesting. Shoot down the argument using the bow you're given. I just imagine Monocro just like floats over to Sora and he's like, "You're gonna need this." It's like, what the hell am I gonna do with a bow? But shooting down your opponent's words will drain their health, yeah. Wait, so I should have read this, but we'll figure it out when it's on screen. Hit that weak point with a refutation arrow. Of course, refutation arrows aren't equipped by default, so you'll have to do that yourself.
Hit him up with that refutation. Oh, why am I yawning so much?
Shooting Norma. Oh.
Good luck.
What was Shobai's account again? I don't even remember. I know I have to accept unjust accusations, but as do you think about that? I'll go with this. Like you said, Yuri would do anything for a woman like that. There's no reason for me. I'd wait at the party. Complicated manner. Wow. This is pretty hard to read. The culprit may have waited until the party because of alcohol. Like we said before, they used it to fog everyone's minds so that they could easily be there. The fact that Yuri was even at the party may be an indication that he was cooperating with the culprit. Huh. Never thought about it that way. Intentional coming to the party. I've never seen this sprite of her. I probably have, but never like full body. Okay. There's no way I was going to be able to read all that, so I just kind of gave up at a point. No, it's not just because of that one thing, Yuruko. Shobai told me he saw you going to the bell tower this morning. What? He also said you were holding a long rope in your hands. A long rope? Like the one Yuri was hooked to? You were telling the truth, right, Shobai? Are we really gonna trust this guy?
I was indeed telling the truth. Never thought she would be so involved with this case. I really was wondering what she was planning to do with that rope. Now that I think about it, it was a really important piece of evidence. That'll be $1 million, please.
Wait, he's lying! Shobai isn't telling the truth! I really was attacked as soon as I left the Mata Cruise. He's trying to slander me. He's the damn culprit. Oh, man. Even if you say that.
All the evidence is stacked against you.
It's almost undeniable at this point. Man, I can't wait to prove her wrong. I just want to see her face. Maybe you're just an idiot, Yuruko. God, I hate her. What? Why are you all accusing me? Why me? Shobai's like... Wow, that's the wrong voice.
Shobai's account is by far the most damning of all the proof presented so far. How do you plan on defending yourself from such an accusation?
Yuruko, are you really the culprit? Shobai is lying. Thanks again. What? I don't get why he would lie, though. Sora, did Shobai mention when he saw Yuruko leave? Yuruko left as soon as the doors opened, so that's gotta be 7 AM on the dot. I was on the 2nd floor, in the library at the time. And I saw Shobai walking up to the 3rd floor through the crack in the door. People would do that? Go to the class trial and just lie? Even if you had seen Yuruko leave, there was no way you could have known where she went. Why are you doing this, mate? You stupid or something?
And didn't you say she was holding a rope?
Shobai, were you lying to me? This is why you don't go for bad boys.
So you caught me.
Oh, come on, dude.
Sorry about that, but I had to test y'all.
Jesus, not the time. Test us?
Like I said, if you can clear the class trial for me, then I'll be set. I was testing to see if you could really do it without getting me involved.
What? Are you serious? You know, that sounds like the most bullshit thing I've ever heard, but it's probably true.
Just a little bit of perjury, that's all. Didn't think Miss Ultimate Psychologist would figure me out. Well, whatever. I'm counting on you guys. You asshole! What is your problem?
Settle down, Shinji. Violence is against school rules. Even emotional torture. Calm down, Shinji. You can beat him up after we get out of here.
That proves my innocence, right? Shobai's the one who lied, so now he's the most suspicious.
Oh, I don't know about that. He might have lied, but you're still the most suspicious person here.
But we're focusing so much on Yuruko. Shouldn't we talk about this a bit more?
No, Yuruko's definitely the killer. You know, I was starting to like you, and now you're buying into this stupid stuff.
I don't want to suspect my friends. I want to believe in everyone.
Well, this is quite the quandary. We seem to be split straight down the middle.
Oh, I see. Split, you say? Then I propose proper debate on the matter. Please remain calm as your seats are rearranged.
Whether Yuruko's the culprit or not. We still have to talk about this. I need to convince everyone.
Scrum debate.
I knew these were in the game. I saw a screenshot of this. And this will be the biggest one, so it'll be the most interesting. I do really like Scrum Debate. It was like I've said before, V3 has the worst like overall story, right? With, you know, how stupid it is. But I think it's really got the best like mechanics and honestly some of the best cases. So I'm glad they're taking some inspiration from it here. Whoa, is Yuki on the other side from us? That's actually unsurprising considering how much he wanted to believe Yuruko was evil, but it's weird because Yuki seems like he's like the Sayaka or the... I shouldn't say Sayaka. Not the Sayaka Nagito archetype. Like the Chiaki or the I almost said Kokoro. Kyoko of the game where like they're your partner that you do stuff with. But at the same time, he's going against us a hell of a lot. And not in a nice way. Like, you know, Kyoko goes against you, but it's for the greater good. Yuki doesn't really have that benefit. Is Solar Scrum versus Luna. Sure. Whoa! Now that's a team. Wait, why is Shobai on our team? Oh, Iroha. Is Yuruko Kabuya the culprit? I like Nikkei's little thing. He's got like his pen raised, ready to write it down at any moment.
Yuruko's the only one who went to the party and fits all the criteria. We still need to figure out if the party is even relevant to the case.
Boom.
Knowing Yuri, the killer has to be a woman.
We've already established that the killer could be a man or a woman.
Boom. Yuruko's the only one with a super suspicious alibi.
Kokoro and Shobai don't even have alibis. Why are you accusing me?
That's so fair.
Yuruko was the only one who set up, or was the only one who could have set up the drinks at the party.
False. Yuruko was not the only one to set up drinks for the party.
She could have taken advantage of the fact that we were drunk to forge her alibi.
Hey, Yuruko wasn't the only one who wasn't drunk. Shouldn't we suspect the others too?
Yuruko's our only suspect. There's nothing else we can do.
We haven't even discussed the possibility of another suspect besides Yuruko.
Crouch bind.
She's not! You know, if you took the epic and music away from this, it would probably look pretty funny. Hey, Yuri's on our side. Full counter. I don't like the way, what's her name? Oh no. I remember her last name. Anyway.
I suppose we cannot reach that conclusion just yet.
Setsuka. I don't like the way her portrait is in the Scrum Debate ending thing there.
It's just wrong to vote for Yuruko as the killer when there's still so many questions about this case. We need to discuss things more.
Sora.
Alright, let's put aside our culprit accusations for now and focus on the other mysteries of this case.
What? We're back to square one! That's fine.
Unlike a regular trial, we'll die here if we get so much as a single thing wrong. We need to keep discussing until we reach a conclusion that everyone can agree with.
I mean, Kokoro, don't you know who the culprit is? Can't you just tell us and call it a day?
Y'all believe Yuruko's the killer right now. Would you really be able to accept my answer if I name someone that isn't Yuruko?
Are you saying Yuruko isn't the culprit? Okay, so instead of thinking about who the culprit is, let's talk about how they did it.
How they did it?
This is the part I actually think I know, so this is good. We aren't sure if the culprit attacked Yuri this morning or during the party. Have you forgotten? What did the killer do before they killed Yuri? They just walk around for hours?
Before killing Yuri. Is she talking about that thing that was on Yuri's body? That thing was...
the wound on the right calf. Oh, you mean the stabbing?
Are you talking about the hook that was embedded into Yuri's left calf?
I would have gone on the right because there was a hole there for no reason. Yeah, Yuki said it was there when you first saw him this morning, right? Even if Yuri was drunk, he wouldn't have just let the culprit hook him like that without putting up a fight. The culprit would have restrained him by any means possible.
Are you saying we should discuss that?
How did the culprit restrain Yuri? Let's see. I know how they did it. It's anesthetic. Don't know where they... Well, I guess I know where they got the needle. But I don't know where they got the actual anesthetics. I guess there's a medical wing in the monikers, so maybe it was in there. Even though Yuri was drunk, Yuri still would have put up some sort of fight.
A blunt weapon was probably used.
Nah, they couldn't risk killing Yuri there by accident.
Regardless, something was used to immobilize Yuri. Maybe he was drunk enough to pass out. Wait, no, probably not.
What method did the killer use to immobilize Yuri? There must be some sort of clue. We know it! I do like that they show us the whole conversation, though, because they skipped the last part the first time, I think, and that made me annoyed. Full counter!
No. Hibiki, I have evidence our culprit didn't use something as simple as a blunt weapon. We found traces of liquid anesthetic on the floor at the bell tower.
Your literal twin sister told me about it.
An anesthetic? Kanade told me it was the one they usually use during major surgeries. That's right! It was available at the infirmary!
You just didn't tell her about it at all.
With that, I see no reason to doubt the killer used an anesthetic to subdue Yuri. Wait, do you think that might be the same thing the culprit used when they attacked me? Maybe, but that's aside the point. So shut up, Yuruko! Fine.
Jesus.
There's one more thing I know about the anesthetic.
The other thing I know is they could time it out. Kanade's account.
Kanade told me she went to check the infirmary after she found out that the anesthetic was involved. She went as fast as, like, Lightning McQueen, the Flash or whatever. She discovered that single syringe had disappeared.
A syringe?
That's right! With that syringe, you could be able to calculate exactly how long you want someone to stay unconscious. Exact measurements are labeled right on it.
Yeah, okay, that's great and all, but how do you know all that?
I watch a lot of medical dramas. Is there something wrong with that?
No, I'm not saying that, but...
Nobody found a syringe or anything like that while investigating, though, right? So that means...
The culprit still has the syringe with him right now.
Or they threw it in the ocean. I mean...
Should we pat everyone down?
I doubt our culprit is stupid enough to have it on them. They probably hid it somewhere. They could just put it in their room.
If they'd used the syringe like that, they could have subdued Yuri even if he wasn't drunk.
But he was, so it was probably way easier.
There's something that's bothering me. When Sora and I last saw Yuri, he said,
Finally, a woman has come to kill me. I'm glad I have achieved my dreams.
He said that as he was about to die? That's creepy!
It was creepy. Thank you, Aroha.
So, if he said that, does that mean our culprit is a woman after all?
What's bothering me is that Yuri told us he would cooperate with the female culprit though, right? And still, why did the culprit subdue Yuri and wait for him to be drunk? They didn't need to.
That's what I was trying to say earlier!
Yeah, that's a good point. Doing all that would only create more evidence, right?
In review, if the culprit was male, his only chance to kill Yuri would have been through the party. And yet, still the blank spot is unfulfilled for the time period between then and nighttime. Assuming the culprit is female, they could have simply gotten Yuri from the monocruise at any time. However, if that was the case, she wouldn't have enough time to set up the crime in the morning. Of course, in this situation, the time period between the party and the nighttime is still unexplained.
About what happened before nighttime? Is it possible that's when the culprit prepared the whole crime?
What?
I mean, yeah, then they wouldn't have to sneak around the thing.
Kokoro said that someone can stay out all night as long as they don't fall asleep, right? And since we can't explain how the culprit could have created their crime so early in the morning, can we just assume they set it all up at night?
Wait! Oh my god. So, I don't think I've been totally subtle about suspecting Hajime, but I just realized the first thing he offered us when we got to the island was an energy drink. And now they're talking about someone staying up all night. So, you know, that'd be like almost 9 hours though. Did they really need that much time to prepare a murder?
All you'd have to do is prepare the hooks, rope, wires, and aesthetic, and like, that's all, right?
They'd have to hang them up in the... Wait, do you really think Yuri was just lifted up using a rope?
Huh? I understand now. I knew something was off when you all started accusing Yuruko. You've all been mistaken from the beginning.
Mistaken? What are you talking about?
The killer didn't just simply drop Yuri to his death after dragging him up the bell tower.
Then what did they do? Oh, I see!
Oh, do you?
It was so obvious in hindsight, but I completely missed it! Think, Yuri was short, but it's still physically impossible for someone to drag him all the way to the top of the bell tower. I doubt even Shinji could do it.
Really? Isn't there something the culprit could have done?
Yes, it is possible, but our initial assumption about the culprit pulling Yuri up is wrong.
Our initial assumption was wrong?
So what? What's the problem?
I don't know. Were we really wrong in our initial assumptions?
The culprit didn't pull Yuri up. They moved him using what?
And what method did they use?
Definitely saw something that could explain this, but what?
調子が悪いみたいね。
Okay, hi Kokoro.
Ugh. Kanai's explanation is correct. Think, Sora. You've seen the evidence. I'll help you remember, if you want.
That sounded like Ultra Despair Girls music. Was that Ultra Despair Girls music? Logic refresh? What is that? Minigame which your fellow student will assist you. Oh, that's cool. There are a total of 5 lines to navigate, similar to the Rebuttal Showdown. You can navigate those 5 lines using the arrow keys. You need to make sure that you're not selecting the lanes that have words coming down them. If you're on a lane with a word on it and it crosses the line, you'll take damage. Your job is to collect the truth bullets that will also be flying by. There's a total of 3 truth bullets to collect. In short, avoid normal words and collect the truth bullets by beginning in the correct lane. After completing this phase, you'll be shown the 3 truth bullets. Select the correct truth bullet that confirms your fellow student's argument. With this, you'll be doing something. They kind of skip by that really fast, but it's fine. I wonder if Kokoro is going to be the only one to do this, because she seems really set up for it. Yuri. So I can't read that. It's going to be too fast. Oh god, it's making me dizzy. Traces of the bell, hook the life jacket, bottles up, hook the life jacket, obviously. Complete.
Yuri wasn't dragged up simply using a rope. In reality, he was pulled up as a reaction to something. Was he pulled up as a reaction to something?
Huh? What are you saying?
Newton's third law. I think that's right? There was a hook embedded into Yuri's left calf, which was attached to a long rope. Initially, we thought someone just pulled Yuri up the tower with that rope. But, if you think about it, it's physically impossible for someone to do that on their own.
It's not impossible to do it, but to do it that fast and with deadly force it is.
You sure? I think I could do it.
Also found something with Setsuka that should prove the fact that our culprit used another method.
There we go. The life jacket, right?
Yes, someone left it in the bushes just outside the bell tower. It wasn't just any life jacket, though. This life jacket had a hook embedded into it. The same hook that was embedded into Yuri's left calf. Not only that, but the hook on the life jacket was also attached to a rope.
Here we go. Now we're getting to the part that I think I figured out.
However, the rope was cut.
So, what does that all mean?
Oh, I see. So at one point, the hook embedded in Yuri's left calf was connected to the life jacket. If the culprit had jumped down from the bell tower with the life jacket on it, it would pull Yuri up too. Every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction.
Wow, called it.
Exactly. That has to be what the culprit did.
Wait, but if the culprit jumped off the bell tower, then why was Yuruko still at the top?
Because she wasn't the culprit.
Well, according to Yuruko, she was attacked this morning and woke up there. When Yuki and I saw Yuri before he was killed, the culprit was probably waiting at the top. Along with the unconscious Yuruko, of course.
This plan would explain why only Miss Sora and Yuki found Yuruko at the top of the bell tower. She was nothing more than a red herring. The true culprit couldn't have been up there. After all, the culprit would have had to jump off the tower for Yuri to ascend to the top. I mean, I get it in theory, but would he really be able to be pulled up so easily?
Yeah, actually.
Huh? What do you mean?
There's tons of other factors involved, like friction and whatnot.
Sora, do you remember the bell ringing when Yuri got pulled up the bell tower?
Yeah, made an awesome title.
Yes, and now I think I know why the bell rung.
When the culprit jumped and Yuri was pulled up, his body must have hit the bell. The evidence that proves that is...
the markings in the bell!
It better not be the sharp wires, I was gonna say.
The culprit threaded the rope through the hanging bell and used it like a fulcrum.
Don't know what that is, but yes.
I'm not very good at drawing, but I'll try to illustrate it. Iroha, may I borrow your sketchbook for a moment?
I knew it was going to be important for a trial. Somebody was like, is Iroha ever going to draw anything in that? And I guess it's still not true, but...
This is how the culprit did it.
Yeah, because then Yuri would get caught at the top, and, you know, he wouldn't fall off the bell tower with him, and they'd both die.
As you may or may not know, the hole at the top of the bell tower is blah blah blah, so the culprit probably only attached the hooks to the rope after he threaded through the hanging bell.
That's really high up. How is that even possible? I see, but Sora, you should really come see me for advice on drawing better.
It's fine. She even drew the spiral staircase. That's more than I would have done.
But how did the culprit adjust the length of the rope? It seems easy in theory, but they could have very easily fallen to their death with a simple mistake. I believe they'd already practiced this method beforehand. If you look at the marks on the bell, they don't look shallow enough to be made after only a single use.
Are you suggesting the culprit practiced the murder multiple times before the actual crime?
They did have 9 hours.
Yes, the hooks that were connected to Yuri couldn't have passed through the hole in the bell. Because of this, the culprit would never fall. The marks on the bell are probably caused by the friction created by the rope. And of course, the marks were also created because of the hook scraping against the metal. After the culprit found the correct amount of rope and had landed on the surface, he just had to cut the rope. Doing so would make Yuri fall due to the shifting weight balance. That is the truth of the crime scene that Yuki and I witnessed.
Hold on a second. Even if the culprit accounted for the length of the rope, the bell tower is still far too tall. If they fell while hanging from just a hooked life jacket, the force from landing would dislocate their shoulders.
And that's the wires.
It's as Kanade says, the culprit would have injured himself if he didn't have anything to cushion the impact.
Something to cushion the impact. That must be why the culprit installed that object? That object is the wires. Yes. Yes!
Earlier, Emma was wondering why the culprit spent all that time installing the wires. But I bet the reason they did it answers Kanade's suggested problem.
The wires?
Yuri was cut up by wires as he was dragged up at high speed. The resulting friction might have had an impact on the culprit's landing. Oh, I see. The wires weren't there to kill Yuri, they were just there to soften the culprit's landing. That definitely explains why the culprit went through all that work to set them up.
There's no denying it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
There's something bothering me. If the wires were sharp enough to cut through flesh, why didn't they cut through the rope? If it really was that sharp, it would have, right?
That rope was no normal rope. It was made with special materials. It's a really tough one that you can grab at the U-Mart. I thought it was interesting, so I took note.
Can't say I was expecting it to be used in a murder.
Wah wah.
So, in the end, Yuruko really isn't the culprit?
That's what I've been trying to say. I'm a victim here too, you know.
That sucks. Oh, you suck.
What do you mean that sucks? Now we have to suspect everyone else besides you as the culprit. How are we supposed to narrow it down and find the real killer now? Our prime suspect is innocent.
I see. So we're right back at the start.
But with more information, you guys seem to be forgetting that.
No, not all the way back at the start. We did learn something from our previous discussion. The culprit must have been outside the monocruise at nighttime yesterday.
How do you know that?
Think about it for a second. The culprit had to adjust the rope length and everything. They needed enough time to do something like that. 9 hours was a bit excessive, but hey, being outside with only Yuri would give our culprit plenty of time to set everything up.
That's a good point. Someone would have definitely noticed if this stuff was being done in the morning.
Furthermore, there was a misconception that we couldn't be outside at nighttime. The culprit used that to their advantage to test out their murder plan. Yeah, it's kind of weird that we all thought when Kokoro over there... We all thought that when Kokoro over here already knew. Well, I only stayed up all night once. To get lucky. And not die to monsters.
So based off the previous discussion, we can say with certainty that the culprit is a man. As we already know, a woman wouldn't have to use such a complicated method.
They could have just shanked him.
The culprit must have known that if Yuri died, we would all assume the culprit was a woman. That fact alone was his alibi. Oh, what a clever ploy, I must admit. I'll write that one down.
So now that we know, we can narrow it down to just the guys, right?
In that case, it's easy. It's Shobai or Mikado. Shobai doesn't have an alibi, and Mikado's the mastermind.
Did you even listen to me? I told you to not have any bias against me in this trial. Ooh, it should be unquestionably clear that I'm giving it my all here to unveil the truth.
I'm not.
Shobai, were you just sleeping the whole time?
Still sleeping. Is it still not over? You guys suck.
You're insane. Our lives are at stake right now, and you just decide to sleep?
Hey man, I work with the mafia. You guys already have everything you need. I know the full story, but I know you guys can figure it out. Yeah, I totally know what's going on. I'm getting a lot of sleep recently, so just wake me up when it's over.
He's insane.
He's also tired, which is ominous.
Anyway, what you're suggesting is unlikely, big bro. The culprit would have had to stay late last night. That's the only way they could have gotten the chance to kidnap Yuri. Both Mikado and Shobai weren't part of that group. But can't Mikado use magic? We've all seen him flying around like nothing. He could easily fly around and kidnap him, right?
Nox's second law. All supernatural and preternatural agencies are to be ruled out. I don't know what preternatural means.
Nox's what now? What the heck is that?
An absolute code of logic. In detective fiction that cannot be violated. It explicitly forbids supernatural or any other unrealistic phenomena from interfering with murder.
Oh yeah! I've heard about that in a few anime!
I give you my most sincere, empathetic vow that I do not use magic for matters relating to murder. Except those 2 people I murdered earlier.
And are we just supposed to take your word for it? How can we trust the words of a mastermind?
I guess I'm left with no other options. I suppose it's the only way. Monocro, I humbly request you to add a new rule. Mikado Sanaji cannot use magic for any purpose relating to a murder case.
Are you sure about that rule?
Yes, I've already made a vow to seal my magic beforehand regardless. Besides, the simple concept of my magic seems to be hindering the progression of this trial. I'd like to use this opportunity to clarify my position in the killing game.
Very well. The regulations will be updated as soon as this trial is over. Mikado Sanaji cannot use magic for any purpose relating to a murder case. As a reminder to you, Mikado, failure to comply with this new rule will result in your execution.
I understand completely. You have my gratitude.
So, Mikado can't be the culprit.
Why are you trying to make this problem harder than it really is? The answer is already out there. There's only one other person who fits the conditions for this crime. Huh? Go on, Sora, put it together. Think carefully about the conditions the person would need to meet to be the culprit. Once you do that, the answer is obvious. Conditions to be the culprit? The conditions that we brought up were...
The culprit must have been one of the people who stayed at the party late last night. And they needed to be part of the group that prepared the party. And of course, we figured out that the culprit must be a man.
A man who stayed up late and helped prepare the party. Let's list them one by one. The people who stayed late last night were... Satsuka, Hajime, Shinji, Emma, and Yoruko. Only one man in there! The group that prepared the party was Satsuka, Hajime, Yuki, Mikado, Yoruko, and me. Then the only person who could be the culprit is... Iroha! No, it's empty for sure. just gonna do a little bit of a fake out for a second. But why? I thought it... Was it you? Hajime Makanuchi? And that's where the video ends. Oh, man. I can't believe I sort of called it. I was like, it has to be a muscle man. I was sort of in the wrong vein back then, but it was kind of right. Honestly, I was leaning more towards Shinji because Hajime seems too cool and collected, but you know what? It makes sense the more I think about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and maybe check out the original videos if you are you just need to know more. You can watch them in the links in the description down below. Please do give them a like or something. That guy and those guys did a lot of work, so I think they deserve it. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you hate Kanade, because I think I hate Kanade. Okay, thanks, bye.